Hello, I'm Bruce Rinalden from Rinalden Buyers Advocates in Melbourne. Thanks for joining me today. The question I'm going to answer today is, why would a buyer want to use a buyer's advocate? What is the benefit of using a buyer's advocate to help you in any aspect of your property purchase? Now, I'm going to answer that, or start by answering that with a question. And the question is this: how would you compare your level of experience, your personal level of experience, buying a property, whether it's the procedure of finding one or bidding at auction or negotiating a sale? How would you compare your experience with somebody who has been in the industry for 40 years as a selling agent and as a buyer's advocate? 40 years of doing exactly what you are planning to do now. Now, therein lies the big picture answer to the question. The person who's been doing it for 40 plus years has a lot of experience in the nuances of buying and selling property and can add greatly to your probably limited, even if you've done it half a dozen times, it's still limited by comparison, amount of experience in the process. That's the broad view of why a person might get a lot of benefit out of using a buyer's advocate to help them buy a property. Specifically, my objective, personally, I summarise it this way, and other advocates would have their own way of summarising how what the benefit of the service is. But my summary to a client is that I want to help you find or help you buy the property that you would like to buy, and buy it then at the lowest possible price. Now that in a nutshell is what it's all about. Because the important thing and the hard part is actually getting a property that you really like, and because you go through a lot of properties you don't like before you'll find one that you do like. And then when you find one you do like, it needs to be affordable to you, that goes without saying, but then you want to be able to get it if it's at all possible, not miss it, because that's the name of the game, isn't it? So an advocate is therefore charged with the job of assisting you to bring home the bacon, to get that property that you want to buy as well as they possibly can, and to avoid you missing out on it. Because it's all well and good to say, oh yes, well does the advocate save you money? The objective is to try and save you money by buying the property as cheaply as they can. But it's equally important, if not as important or more important, that you actually succeed in buying the property you want to buy and not miss it. Because in all the years I've been doing this business, I've very, very, very rarely, in fact, I don't think it's ever happened that a buyer has walked away saying, oh, geez, I wish I hadn't bought that. We paid too much for it. But nearly every time a buyer walks away saying, oh, that was great that we bought it. And whether you paid $5,000 too much or $10,000 under what you thought, that's not as important as the fact that you're successful at buying the property you really wanted to buy. So the reason why, that is the reason why. But buyers don't quite understand that subtlety of the importance of the service. Now, if an agent has, an advocate has been in the industry as a selling agent in the past and as a buyer's advocate for many years, then they know how selling agents operate, they know how they think, or they know how to anticipate potential outcomes in auctions and private sale negotiations. They know the right questions to ask the selling agent in a case of a private sale negotiation. It's very important to know the right questions to ask so that you can plan your strategy and so that you can avoid missing out because you had the right information, because you asked the right questions. It's important to know how to approach an auction bidding strategy. There's a lot to it. It looks pretty simple on the surface, but there's a lot to it. The subtleties of planning an auction bidding strategy, there are a number of facets to it, and it's the advocate's role to take these pieces of to get the right information from you, and with you sort out a strategy which gives you the best chance of you being successful, and they perform the bidding task on your behalf. Now that has to, that has to bring a lot of advantage to the table on your behalf. I know for a fact, not guesswork here, that buyers have stopped early bidding against people such as myself because they felt they didn't have a chance. Now, the advocate might cost you $1,000 or $2,000 if you're successful at buying it, but what's that alongside the cost of, or the benefit of being successful at buying it? And what's that alongside the cost of stamp duty for the you'll pay to the state government for the privilege of buying it? It's secondary importance. The main thing is that you have achieved the objective you wanted, and as well as you possibly can. So look, you know, these are the reasons why you would use an advocate. When it comes to a search service, that it can be a whole chapter in a book again. Search service, helping to find a property. For me, it's a process. I've done it so many times. It's always successful, virtually always successful, and it just takes the work and the guesswork out of the whole looking procedure for the buyer. By streamlining the whole process. But look, I might do another video altogether just on the search service. But I hope that that encapsulates the reasons why it's important to consider using a buyer's advocate. And thanks for joining us. Give us a like if you like the video, and I look forward to joining you next time. Bye-bye.